I was once in a job interview, and I told the interviewer, I'm not a monkey. I'm not just going to do what I've been told to do. I'm a strategist, and I can get you results, but you have to give me my head. Well, that didn't lead to the best working relationship. In a job, your employer wants you to be an employee. They want to be able to direct you. They want to be able to tell you what to do and many times how to do it, no matter what level you're at. But when I talk to potential clients, it's another story. They tell me, I don't want to tell you what to do. I want you to tell me what needs to happen. That is a totally different relationship. And today, that's what we're going to talk about. Welcome to the Solopreneur Life Podcast. I'm your host, Kathryn Aragon. I want you to learn what it takes to build and scale your own business so you can enjoy the freedom and flexibility that comes with the solopreneur life. Today, we're talking about clients versus bosses, how to position yourself for success. Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about it. But first, take a minute to subscribe to the Solopreneur Life Podcast so you don't miss a single episode. So how do you position yourself in a way that's strong and not weak? The truth is, the way you position yourself will help you or hurt you. So it's critical that you get this right. When you start your solopreneur business, your number one challenge is getting clients. And, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but when I first got started, it was almost like I was trying to catch butterflies. Where do you get these elusive things called clients? I didn't even know where they were. But that's your goal. In order to launch your business, you must have clients. You must have people who are willing to pay money for what you do or what you sell or produce. That's the key. But you many times bring some old mindsets and old habits to the table that interfere with your ability to do this. Let's say you manage to get a client, but you slip back into old habits, thinking that you work for them, not with them. You take orders, you do the work, and you just hope they like it. See, this is not entrepreneurial thinking. This is not an owner's mindset. An owner never goes to somebody and goes, "Oh, please, I hope you like what I just did." No. They have put together a product that they know is powerful, that they know will solve a problem. And it's on you. If you want the product, if you want the solution, you work with them. The product is what the product is. If you don't, you pick a competitor, and you might pay for it because it might not be as good. See the difference in the mindset versus "please give me a favor" versus "I'm here if you want me." This is such a powerful shift in your mindset, and I really, really want you to get it, because the way you position yourself can either hurt you or help you. The goal is getting hired, right? But that relationship starts from the moment they first see a blog post that you've written about what you do, or a social media post, or a chance conversation that you might have in Zoom or at an in-person event. Like those might come into fashion, right? The key is, in all of those encounters, you set up the sales conversation. And in all of those, you set up your working relationship. Have you set yourself up as an employee or as an owner? Have you set yourself up as an underling, somebody who needs direction, or as a powerful peer, somebody who understands the client's business better than the client does? Which one do you think will get paid the best? This is such an important skill. If you set yourself up from day one as the underling, you will be treated as the underling every single day that you work with your client. But if you set yourself up as a peer, as a consultant, as someone who has the solutions, you will win in this relationship. And it's not a power play. We'll talk about that in a minute. Many times clients try to make it a power play. But it isn't. It's just about how you position yourself. It's about how you talk about yourself. I once worked with a new solopreneur, and she was being transparent. I struggle with this sometimes too. In my efforts to be transparent, I position myself weakly. And it's not my intention. It's not like I actually believe I'm weak in that area. It's just the way I talk about myself, trying to be transparent or honest, and it looks weak to other people who don't know me. Well, I'd worked with this newbie solopreneur, and she was doing the same thing. But it didn't matter how many times I told her, don't say that about yourself. She just kept doing it. And I think many times we confuse humility with this whole thing. And humility is really good if people know you're the best. But if nobody knows you're the best, you can't be too humble. I really want to emphasize this. You've got to be your own best cheerleader. Nobody knows what you can do if you don't tell them. Now, you can show them, but many times I've discovered I can put together the best project they've ever seen. But if I don't come in and tell them, by the way, this is the best ever, they many times don't notice it. They assume, I don't know what, they assume it's mediocre work because you're not doing cheers on the sidelines, whatever. That's human nature, I guess. So don't focus on being humble. Don't focus on being transparent. Focus on being powerful. You are an owner. You own a business. You offer a service that delivers value. Really focus on that value, because that's how you do this. Don't focus on what I don't do. Focus on what I do. Don't focus on where I'm weak. Focus on where you're strong. Now, many times I'm talking with a prospect and they ask me, is this something you do? And I will be honest. I never lie. I never want to promise more than I can deliver. And I let them know that's not my strength, but I have someone on my team who I can call on to step in for that. Basically, the idea is to position that you can hire my agency and we will take care of you. But I personally won't be handling that because I've got someone on my team who's better than I am. Notice how much better that sounds than, well, I don't know, I'm just a newbie. I can't do that yet. You always want to position yourself as strong. And if there's an area of the project where you're not strong, pull in someone else and call them a partner, call them a part of your team. But let people know that there is someone on your team, that there is someone in your neck of the woods who can help you take care of them, because you're the solutions provider. You're not the employee. Make sure you don't position yourself as an underling. And it's so easy to slip into that in our efforts to be nice or to be friendly or to be humble. We will accidentally start talking like an employee. You're not an underling. You're not someone who's up for hire. If they wanted an employee, they would hire you for the full amount of money and pay you benefits. But they don't, because you're a consultant and you're supposed to come with answers. So I want you to shift the way you think about what you do. You are not someone who's just up for hire. You have a solution that your client needs, and they're coming to you because you're an expert. They really, really want you to step into that role as an expert. You will get the job better if they see you that way. Clients want an expert. They want someone who can come in and tell them what the problem is, why it's a problem, how it needs to be fixed, and then go fix it for them. And they will pay anything to have someone do that in a way that they trust it will get done. This is why the way you position yourself is so valuable. If they don't believe that you can do the job, you will never get that job. But if you've positioned yourself strongly as someone who has the answers, someone who understands the problem and understands how to solve it, they'll pay you whatever you ask because they want a partner. So how do you do this? How do you position yourself as a peer, as a partner, as the consultant who has the solutions? Well, you set the tone. Remember, even when you're not talking to the employee, you are talking to the employee. That blog post you just published, they're going to read it and they're going to see the tone. If you position yourself as, I'm just learning this stuff, I'm just a beginner, do you think they're going to reach out to you to do the work they need? Position yourself as expertly as you can. You don't have to lie. You don't have to say you know things you don't know. But you should never position yourself as less than you are. Lean into your strengths and set that tone early from those first contacts. When you're on LinkedIn and you're doing your posts, when you're on Twitter or Facebook, talk about what you're doing that's strong. And yes, you can say, I used to struggle with this, but now I know. Don't position yourself as someone who's a brand new, I'm learning and I'm so weak. Because even when you talk about, hey, I'm learning this new thing and it's so cool, you can talk about it in a powerful way. You can talk about it as an asset, as something that adds to your skill set, not as something that you're weak in. If you act like an employee, you will get treated like one. So don't come in and ask, okay, yes, sir, what do you want me to do, sir? Come in and say, okay, the first thing we're going to need to do is this. And then step 2 is this. Figure out what your process is. And you come in with authority. That's your goal. Your clients will hire you because they have a problem and you have a solution. Think about that. You are a problem solver. You're not an order taker. You're a leader. You're not a follower. So you need to own your position. As a solopreneur, you are a business owner. You are a peer and a partner with your clients. Come to them with solutions, not with questions. When you're first meeting with them and trying to figure out what they need, you will be asking a lot of questions and you'll be letting them do all the talking. Because that's how you diagnose the problem. You need to ask strategic questions, and the questions you ask will help position you as the expert because you know what to ask. But as they start talking, you're just going to take notes and take notes and take notes. Focus on what they don't know. Focus on what they need help with because that's where your strength is. You're the solution provider. You're the person with the answers. Make sure that you speak with authority. Well, I see that you're dealing with this. And from my experience, that usually happens when this, and this is missing. Well, would you like me to show you how I can fill those gaps for you so you get the results you're looking for? Notice how easy that is. You diagnose the problem, you explain to them why it's happening and what's missing, and then you tell them how you can help them solve that problem. That's a position of strength. You're speaking from authority, not from weakness. You're not expecting them to diagnose their own problem and tell you how to fix it, because that's how employees work. They're calling you because they want something more than an employee. They want someone who can come in and be the expert for them. Don't be afraid to be the expert. You are not being proud. You are being authoritative. There is a power play that prospects sometimes will try to play with you. They many times want to hire someone who is an employee, but they don't want to pay the benefits. They don't want to pay the full rate. So they will pick someone out of the pack who they think, I think I can control that person. As a woman, I sometimes experience this. You may experience it similarly if you're young, if you're not white, if you're female. Many times you will struggle with this. Someone will pinpoint you as an easy target. And when you come in and try to position yourself as the expert, they will try to lower you. They will try to raise themselves above you, to laugh at you, and make you feel like you must back down. Many times this happens when I come in and we've had that discussion. I've diagnosed the problem. I've told them what I can do for them. Now they want to talk money. And there is this little power play. You've probably heard the first person who talks loses. Forget that. That's garbage. You have the power to talk about money. And you can just go there very comfortably because it's the next stage of the conversation. You should never be afraid to talk about money. But when you give your price, there may be a little gasp as, oh, you mean you're going to actually charge a real rate? That's your first clue that you're dealing with one of these people who wants to hire an underling. They want to hire someone who they just can pay peanuts for. And you're not that person. I just really want to emphasize, you are not that person. You're a solutions provider. You're an expert. You're an authority. Own that. And don't let anyone push you down or ridicule you. I had someone ask me to come on as a consultant. And I was so happy because I love consulting gigs. But I gave them my rate. And I gave them the rate for the project they wanted, and they didn't like that. So they said, well, what if we hired you by the hour? I said, well, my consulting rate is this. The client, the prospect, laughed. And he said, well, that's almost as much as I charge. Do you hear what he was saying? What he was saying is, you're not equal to me. I'm better than you is why my rate is here, but your rate should not be anywhere close because you're not equal to me. Well, what do you think I did? Do you think I backed down? I guess I could charge less. No, you will never, ever. I will not let you take that position because what he tried to do there was try to cut my legs out from under me and say, you're not all that. I want you to know that you are all that. I sat very quietly and I looked at him. We were on a Zoom call, so I was looking face to face as much as I could, but I looked him square in the eyes and I let him fume and I let him fuss. And then I said, well, whenever you're ready to move forward, you know where to find me. You can say, and now however you want to say it. I don't remember my exact words, but basically he was like, well, I won't make that decision now. I'm going to let so-and-so. And of course I haven't heard back. Because he was just trying to extract himself from this conversation that he couldn't control. The truth is, prospects may try to control the situation, but you should never try to get into a power play. That is not what you're looking for. The ideal client sees you as the solutions provider. They understand that you're a consultant, that you're making a living too, that you have something that they need and they need to pay for it. They see you as an equal, not as an underling. If anyone ever tries this power play with you, tries to put you into your place instead of elevating you into your place, you need to walk away. Do not argue. Don't get angry. There's no need for any of that. But you do not need to back down. If you have set fair rates and you know they're fair, or if you have set the rate that is the going rate for what you do, and someone's just assuming, yeah, but because you're a woman, I can get away with paying you less, don't back down. That is not the truth. You are valuable, your service is valuable, and you need to be paid fairly. That glass ceiling that exists in the corporate world does not exist in your business because you set the pay rate in your business. You're an owner. I want you to really, really understand that. No one can force you to lower your rates. Now, you may find that you've set a rate that's too high and the market simply can't bear it. That's a different matter. You can lower your rate. You can figure out what the best rate you can get is and put your price there. But I don't want you ever to back down because a client or a prospect tries to put you in your place. Your place is at the top of your own business. You run this business, you provide solutions, and you should be treated with respect. So lean into that. That is my message for you today. I want you to position yourself as strong, not as weak. I want you to come into every relationship with your clients from a position of strength. Don't forget to subscribe to the Solopreneur Life Podcast wherever you turn in and visit us at solopreneurlife.com. Join us next week for another smart episode of the Solopreneur Life Podcast. And until then, stay awesome.